This is Haystack Help Radio on KLZ 560.
Again, Roof Maxx, great company. Man, love what they did for our house and our roof. And I'll tell you what is so cool about this is, and we'll get into the process if you hadn't heard Dave before, and we'll let him kind of start back at the beginning to tell you all about Roof Maxx. But it's such an easy, well, for us watching you on the roof, it's an easy process, few hours, and man, the roof looks brand new.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I mean, the coloring in it, the sun gets back on it, it looks great.
Brand new, feels brand new.
Cost a whole lot less.
A whole lot less for replacing a roof, absolutely. Yeah, especially these days. It's crazy how expensive roofs are getting. As far as the way it looks and what it does, it brings the original color back out, puts life back into it, as if you put lotion on. I think we talked.
It's like shining a pair of shoes.
Yeah, shining a pair of shoes, washing your car really good, waxing it.
Yeah. Put oil back in your shoes. They look new.
Yeah, exactly. That's about it. Yeah.
Good concept.
So basically, it brings it back to life. Yeah.
Wow.
That's really neat.
That's cool.
So you've been on the show. We've been doing this for quite a while now, but some people may be new. So I want to kind of go back and.
Sure.
You've been in the industry of roofing for how long?
I've been roofing for. I've lost count, but I would say we're around the 22, 23 year range.
Okay.
Yeah, plus or minus a year here and there, but it's been over 20 years.
And you've been doing that all over the country?
Between Arizona and here in Colorado, yeah.
Really hot, really cold.
Really hot, really cold, exactly.
So you know both ends of the spectrum.
I know both issues, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
How did you get into what you're doing now? We're going to explain what it is, but what you're doing now versus replacing roofs.
So basically, just a quick explanation. I had my own roofing business for a while, replacing roofs. In my career, I think I've replaced and been a part of over 3,000 replacements. And then just took a break for a couple of years. And then I went to work for a general contractor that I did all of his roofing for. And he decided he wanted to kind of slow things down a little bit. And I didn't really want to get back into the full end of the spectrum because it's a lot of work. But came across an ad for Roof Maxx, and I spent a couple months researching it before I even went home and told my wife about it because I knew she would think I was crazy for wanting to get back into roofing and have my own business again because it's
hard work.
It's a lot of work. No matter what business you're being self-employed, it's a lot of extra work. And then so I presented it to her, and she's like, "You're not doing this." I'm like, "Babe, this is what I do. This is what I know." And been doing Roof Maxx now for a year out here in Colorado. I still do all kinds of other roofing. There's nothing that I can't do, but focusing on Roof Maxx for last year, and it's been great. Yeah.
Okay, because like Scott, you've done my roof, so all the neighbors asked me the same thing. Did you get a new roof? Because it only took less than a day.
Yeah,
which was really nice.
Oh yeah.
Explain what Roof Maxx is and what they do.
Okay, so Roof Maxx is a product that basically we put life back into an existing asphalt roof. What happens out here, especially in Colorado, is our air is super thin, our UV rates are really high, and they don't make shingles like they used to 15, 18 years ago. And so they dry out really fast. And so your typical average, quote-unquote, 30-year shingle is going to last you 12 to 15 years before it starts deteriorating to the point where most companies would recommend replacing it. So Roof Maxx, we spray it on. It's an oil-based product. It puts the flexibility back in the shingle. It re-adheres the shingles to each other, reactivates the seal strips. And then what granules are remaining on the shingles, it keeps those on even better than when the shingle is brand new. So it's like it makes the asphalt super sticky again. Because as the shingles dry out, your granules come off. Every time it rains, you get little pea-sized hail, big hail, wind, snow sitting on the roof, and then freezing and then running off. It all washes granules off the shingle. And so Roof Maxx keeps those granules on. And in most cases, we can get full 30 years out of a shingle.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So taking the life from 12 to 15, you can take it to 30.
Yeah. Assuming we catch it in time. A roof that's 25 years old, and I've treated a few roofs that are that old. And normally, as a roofer, I would go out and look at it and go, "Man, we got to replace this roof. You have no life left in it. We're getting them at least an extra 5 years." And I would suspect to say we can go another treatment, get another 5 years after that.
Well, one of the things I thought about when we talked about it with my house is that if I have a roofer come out and I've got hail or I've got the curling up, their suggestion, there's no in between. It's either deal with what you got or replace your roof.
Right.
When I'm replacing my roof, I'm getting into $10 to $15 to $20,000
Easily, yeah.
This is considerably less.
Yep.
So I have more options. Plus, you're giving me the opportunity to extend that life.
Absolutely.
Because of what it does.
Right. Exactly. Like I said, like I mentioned, most roofers will go out and they'll go, "Well, you got a bunch of granular loss, or shingles are cracked or not sticking," and they're just like, "Well, we got to replace it." I wouldn't say this is a miracle drug. It may not reactivate all shingles that are 20 years old or older, but the most of the shingles it will reactivate them. And if they do happen to blow up in the future, they're gonna accept that wind and not crack and blow off. They'll lay back down when the wind is gone. So, and a lot of times we're getting a lot of extra life out of the roofs. And especially, I think we were talking a little bit ago on the real estate end of things. There's a lot of people who are just want a new roof. Well, that's costing somebody somewhere, or both parties, or what have you. And a lot of times we can go in and for a fraction of that cost and keep that roof on, keep both buyer and seller happy, get them a 5-year warranty, and move on.
In the last year, I've seen a lot of people when they're buying a home. But the only thing that they're really asking for is an inspection, and their main concern is the water main that's running out of the house to the street. That's one. Two is the roof.
The roof, yeah.
And when you have the inspector goes in, the inspector's doing their job, and they're saying, okay, I see some hail, I see some of this. Well, the buyer's saying, well, this is my chance to get something for free.
Right.
The seller says, I really don't want to pay for it.
Right.
So when I have clients that are calling me thinking about, I say, you need to contact Dave.
Yes.
You need to have him come out, because he'll make it look new, because they won't see this because of what this thing does.
Right. And we're working a lot more with several additional home inspectors now, educating them on what we have, so that they can be like, hey, your roof is kind of here. Call Dave, get a second opinion, because they can't say yes, this thing is done. Sure. They just mention some scenarios that might cause some concern to have somebody, a professional, a roofer, come out and take a look at it. And I'm actually working on one right now in my neighbor's house out east. This person bought this house. I didn't think it would go for what it go for, but it did. But they bought it with no, not contingencies, as is. They bought it as is, and now they're coming to find out. I was like, oh, well, I should probably get the roof looked at. Well, the roof is 18 years old, and
that's why the buyer wanted, or seller wanted to sell it as is.
Probably.
He knew.
Well, and I know the neighbors well. They're actually good friends. They're having their house built, but they didn't do anything with the roof over the last 18 years, and now we're replacing that roof at a cost of close to $30,000.
Oh.
So,
Hello.
There's a chance to get the insurance company involved and all that, but it's still a 50-50 shot of getting that done or not. So somebody's paying for that, because then the buyer can't get it insured with the roof with it being in that condition. So there's a lot of advantages of having us come out and take a look and see where, even before you list a house.
Sure.
Does it cost anything to come out and take a look at it? Does it cost anybody but me? But other than that, it's just it's a free inspection to come out and take a look and just at least have an idea where you're at before you list a house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, living like most neighborhoods, this August I had some people work in the neighborhood for roofs.
Oh yeah.
And I'd see them go up. They wouldn't come to my house.
Yep.
I have to tell you. They would look and they'd walk right on down the street, and go to the next one, because they said, I'm not going to see nothing there because of what it does.
Be a waste of time. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's neat, and it helps. And like I said, I've done my house, I've done my neighbor's house, and we had hail, and it survived the hailstorm.
Wow.
My truck and trailer didn't, but my roof did. So
yeah, what can you do for that?
You can't spray your truck with this.
I wish I could. Yeah.
Again, the website is roofmax.com, and that's spelling roof and then Max, MAXX.